card that should give you access to the vault.
Hello agents, and welcome back to another Division build video. Today we've got a skill build for you, and it doesn't just use the new TU12 skill gear. We're actually using some old gear as well in combination to basically make a build where your skills are constantly available. You're never going to be left without them, but yet you can do some great damage with your gun, and you can do some great damage with the skills as well. I'll put some links in the description down below. I've done a maximum skill damage build before and like an unlimited Seeker Mine build video before. I'll drop them in the description down below so you can check them out if that's what you're looking for instead. But with this build, we're going to use an old gear set called Hardwired. And in combination with a new named chest piece, we can constantly have our skills available in a variety of different ways. And you can choose how you want to use this. Now, normally I would use this build on Razorback when we're helping people through the raid. If you need some help with the raids, come and check us out over on Twitch, twitch.tv/DJTICKLE. With a few different changes. I wouldn't actually take the red knee pads in here where I've got the weapon damage. I would just take all yellow variants in, as you can see here. And I would take a crossbow in for the specialization so that I can then break the grate on the back. But we're not talking about using this for solely Razorback. This would work fine as long as you had somebody to use a crossbow for you. It wouldn't be a problem. And you would actually do more damage. But to be more versatile and only require just me to be able to deal with one side of Razorback, there would be the changes that I would make. But if I'm going to use this in the open world and for missions and stuff and things like that, this is what I would change it to. Now, we're using the launcher specialization, and the reason for that is we get 10% skill damage. And we also get a skill tier. You can see there's 10% skill damage. And then there is the skill tier. Make sure you spec into assault rifle damage because we're going to want to use the named assault rifle, the capacitor. And that's the only things you need to do for that, for technician. Going back to the build. So because we get the extra skill tier, you can see I was very, very lucky in getting these Empress International that rolled pretty much max skill damage and skill haste, and therefore all I had to do was change the core attribute to weapon damage, and that then makes me just a little bit more powerful because I'm going to be using my gun at the same time. And what makes that even more important is if you use the capacitor. As you can see, shooting enemies builds stacks to a cap of 40. Each stack grants 1.5% skill damage, which is really, really nice. And then after 5 seconds, the stacks decay 1 per second, and when you're running a mission they very rarely decay. Like if you're constantly shooting enemies, they're not going under 30. You've got a lot of extra skill damage there. But then for each yellow skill tier we gain 7.5% weapon damage. Now obviously that's only half the amount you would usually get from a skill damage tier in a core attribute. So as you see, weapon damage is normally 15%. But we're actually going to get 7.5% for every one of these yellow tiers, plus the one from the specialization as well. And then we've got another red tier in the knees. So our weapon damage, although halved, or just above half, we still put out quite a lot of damage because we've got a lot of damage coming from our skills as well. I have got the test subject on hand just in case you prefer using perfectly in sync. Hitting enemies grants 20% skill damage for 5 seconds. Using a skill or damaging an enemy with a skill grants 20% weapon damage for 5 seconds. And the damage increases are doubled if you do it at the same time. So that gives you, 40% as long as you and your skills are hitting the enemies, which is really, really nice. But I'm going to go with the capacitor because I believe it will output more damage overall, just because it's just some higher numbers. When we look at the gear, so we'll look at the named chest piece, and that's why we have to use 2 piece of the Empress International, because we take in skill health and skill damage. I would much rather this be skill haste and skill damage, but we want the perfectly skilled. We want the chance of getting our skills back as high as possible. And as you can see here, skills have a 30% chance to reset skill cooldowns. And that's why the unlimited Seeker Mine video has become a thing on YouTube, because if you use the Seeker Mines, the multi-Seeker Mines, that's a lot of chances of getting the kills, especially on red bars, and then that refreshing and you getting your skills back. As you can see, I've just put a skill haste mod in here to make my skills come back again as fast as possible if we do get into the situation where perfectly skilled or hardwired is unavailable. But that is pretty unlikely, to be honest. So then to match them up, you can see we showed these before. We get the 10% skill damage from using the 2-piece brand set bonus with weapon damage, skill damage, and then skill haste. And that's going to be the theme pretty much across the entire build. Then we look at the hardwire mask, skill damage and skill haste, with a core attribute of a skill tier, obviously. And then the gear set for hardwires, 2-piece provides us 15% more skill haste. 3-piece gives us 15% skill damage and 30% repair skills, even though we're not using that. But then 4-piece gives us feedback loop. Whenever you use or cancel a skill, your other skill's cooldown is automatically reduced by 30 seconds, while increasing total skill damage and repair by 10% for 20 seconds. Now our cooldowns aren't usually that high, so it basically just refreshes the skill and gives you the skill back, which is really, really nice, and also provides us with that 10% damage boost. The holster is just exactly the same. We got skill tier and skill damage. The gloves, skill tier and skill damage. And then if you take a look at the backpack, we get the extra talent. We get the short circuit talent. It decreases feedback loop cooldown from 20 seconds all the way down to 10. Now, although that's not a damage talent, which is unfortunate, bringing it down to 10 seconds is brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Because you've just not got enough time to physically keep using the skills before this or the Empress International chess piece talent has actually done you a favour and got you the skill back. If you did want to take a quick look at the stats, not really that they're that important, because we've only got 20% crit chance, we've only got 75% headshot damage, 12% damage to armour, 10% health damage. That's all coming from the assault rifle. A few other bits and bats and bonuses, but our gun stats are not really what are important here. If we went down, we can have a look at the skills. So this is, for instance, what I would be using if I was on Razorback. As you can see, the cooldown's only 16 seconds. But even with 0 stacks, so yeah, this is what I need to point out. If you're using the crossbow and using the capacitor, even with 0 stacks and the 10% skill damage bonus from the launcher, you've got enough damage to one-shot the drones. You don't have to worry about having the capacitor stacks. I thought I would need to, but with the amount of skill damage we've got on this build, you don't have to worry. They will one-shot, the pulse will one-shot the drones. It's just a bonus if you have the stacks on the gun for things like dogs and other things like that, where they might be causing your group some troubles. If we were to change this, and we could go to the multi-seeker mine, you can see the cooldown's only 24 seconds, damage 2.3 million, and obviously we're at skill tier 6, which provides us with 60% more damage anyway, and 6 extra mines. You could put it in the drone, but it doesn't really benefit the drone because it's more of a duration based skill. But as you can see, the cooldown again is only 13.5 seconds. If you wanted to constantly firefly things, you could do for 25 seconds, but we'll do that much quicker. Perhaps if you're in a group and they're struggling to kill enemies, in a legendary, a constant firefly could be super useful. So what we'll do now, we'll nip out into the gardens just outside the base of operations so you can see this build in action. And I do understand this build might not be for everybody, but it's certainly brilliant on things like Razorback and supporting your other teammates. So what we'll do, first of all, I'll show you how it would work for me on Razorback. Now I would pulse, and I would hopefully get some. I would get some kills, and I would hopefully get it back. And you see, I've got a 16-second cooldown, but I can just flip my shield out. You know, carry on shooting, doing whatever, and then if I get double drones, I can go again, and hopefully then I would get a reset of 2 sets of kills. And if not, you can just flip your shield out again and get the pulse back. And that's it. So between the chest piece talent from getting kills from the drones and between using hardwired, you're constantly going to have that pulse available. It's just so versatile. It's just brilliant. Your team never have to worry about killing them drones, which can be so annoying. And then obviously your other option, which would probably be the most popular option for when you're running missions. And as you can see, that's a 24-second cooldown on these. We get 10 mines. Obviously, you put your mods to damage if you can and things like that. But you just throw it out. They would hopefully get some kills, which obviously where I am right now, they're not going to. So we'll just blow this up. And we get the 24 cooldown. We just flip your shield out. And again, between getting kills from the multi-mine, flipping your shield out, you're just constantly going to have them available. And you're not actually a slouch when it comes to weapon damage because you've got the 7.5% per yellow, including the specialization, and we got 15% there on the knee pads as well. So really nice build. Let me know what you think in the comments down below, guys. I know it's a little bit of an old build because we're using hardwired, but mixing it with something new with the Empress and just seeing if it's still relevant. And actually, it works pretty well. It works really well in dark hours. Really good for dark hours. So let me know what you think in the comments down below. Come and check me out over on Twitch, twitch.tv/DJTICKLE. I could be streaming there right now. Come and say hi. Check out the links down below in the description. Give me a thumbs up to help me out with that YouTube algorithm. It really does help. Hit subscribe for lots more Division content. And I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching, everybody. Goodbye.
Agent in need. You're gonna need to get the access codes to the vault to recover the item the hyena stole from Air Force One. Our hyena insider says whoever's posted in the old CEO's office will have a key card that should give you access to the vault.